Everyone, good afternoon. Hope you're all well. Hey Jimmy, how are you doing? Happy Anzac Day, lest we forget. Hope you're enjoying your super long weekend, the start of your super long weekend. Hey Diana, how are you doing? Good morning. Hey Jumarinas, how are you doing? Hope you're all well. Okay, everything seems to be working well. Hey Linley. I think you guys can see me okay, hear me all right. That shouldn't be a problem right now. I've got a light on. I've got a light on right there, so hopefully it's a little bit brighter and a bit sharper. On time for the live stream, yes you are. We'll give it 1 minute and we shall get started. I'm super tired today. I'm super tired. We had a webinar yesterday. I had a webinar with Tickmill yesterday. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm talking about when to scalp, how to scalp, when to do intraday, when to do swing trades. I felt it was a little bit of a rush of time towards the end, but I hope you guys got good information from it, found it useful. I'm in discussions with Tickmill to do more webinars as well, so we can hopefully look forward to more sessions like that. Let me know what kind of topics you would like to get covered as well. Yeah, so super tired today. After the webinar, went back, had a bit of a rest, stayed up and watched the football till 5 a.m. Singapore time, and then I was up again at 8. So not a lot of hours of sleep, but I'm chugging along. I made a small trade, relatively small trade on the Aussie dollar. Closed it just before the session. Don't know how it's going right now, but we'll see. We'll see shortly. If it continues up, then I'll look for the next trade as it breaks the resistance. Yes, you're right, Diana. I'm so happy we won, and well, so happy we didn't lose. Hey Christina, good afternoon, good morning, how are you doing? Okay, if you're new to the session, do drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. For all the regulars, a big welcome back. Thank you again for joining me on this daily market analysis. Hey, leave a comment, leave a feedback about the webinar. Let anyone else who did not join the webinar know what they're missing out on or what they've missed out on. All right. Hey Lydia, how are you doing? Yeah, they're not consistent at all. Not consistent at all. You can help me out massively by remembering to click that like and subscribe button, the thumbs up on YouTube. Small action might be a big impact. We'll see, okay? So help me out with that. And if you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know. Lydia, I am doing fantastic. I'm running on empty, running on fumes, but I'm doing fantastic. Still had some profits on the trades, and I'm back on the daily market analysis. So it's always good. It's always good to be back. All right. A quick disclaimer, any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. So please do your own due diligence, as the contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, as your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. I did watch the FA Cup. It wasn't a good one. It wasn't a very good one. It was good for the neutrals. It was good for the neutrals. We got lucky and we scraped through. Not looking forward to the next match. Not looking forward to the next match at all. I'm pretty much considering it as a goner. I don't think we're gonna get a cup. Not very optimistic, but I'm more optimistic on the markets. Yeah, okay, so what has happened? What has happened since the last time we spoke? A whole bunch, but not so much because of news. It's really a technical play. It wasn't any big statements or news releases, but yet we saw the dollar go This was last night, right? It went up and then it sat there, and then through the night and early morning it's pushed down towards that support. So not a big news. We saw a bit of a consolidation, did not push up as we expected before it started tracing back down again. Okay, in terms of news, we had the core durable goods and durable goods for the US. No big surprises here. Not massive impact on price either. That's also one reason why I didn't pay too much attention to it. A bit surprising was the retail sales number for the Canadians, where it was a minus 0.3, expected a 0.1, came out at a minus 0.1, while core retail sales was a 0.5, revised down to 0.4, and it came out at a minus 0.3, right? So not very good news there for the Canadians in terms of the retail sales and core retail sales number. And because of that, we saw at the release at 8, we saw the Canadian dollar push up. But it kind of did what we kind of wanted it to do, where it pushed up, tested the resistance, rejected, and pushed down. I did not get into that trade, that one like that. I did not get into that trade because at 8:30 I was doing the webinar together with you guys. All right. So anyone else got onto the CAD trade from last night, put into the chat and let me know. Then with that, not much else. Through to this Thursday today, the Kiwi, the Aussies are on an Anzac Day break. So, you know, I used to be in Australia. It's one of those days that the nation kind of pauses for it. The line is lest we forget. So for anyone who is watching from Australia, hope you're enjoying your long weekend. I guess it'll be a super long weekend. And, you know, if you did the Dawn March or participated in the Dawn March, let me know as well. What we have tonight is the US advanced GDP quarter on quarter. It was a 3.3, got revised slightly upwards to 3.4, expected a 2.5. Unemployment claims, I'm not too bothered at all. Pending home sales, not at this point. The main thing that puzzles me right now is the US yen, right? It shot up, it went up to 155. That was last night, and then it continued pushing higher through today. I did some quick scalps. I'm very, very cautious on the US yen. So I did trade it up this morning, just about as it broke that high. I came in about 8. Yeah, it's about 8. And it was pushing up. I did some quick scalps up, but I'm not comfortable holding any trades on the US yen. Just don't know when it's going to start retracing or correcting or intervening back down. It's a 155.65 right now. It's just beyond understanding. We haven't heard, oddly, we haven't heard anything from the Bank of Japan about a possible fixing or discussion of the FX rates. But, you know, just be extra cautious there. Tomorrow, we do have the BOJ with their policy rate, monetary policy statement, BOJ outlook report, and press conference, likely between 10 to 12 o'clock, GMT plus 8. I would like to say that we're likely to see some intervention. I would like to say that we could see a big correction or some movements or some introduction of a policy shift from the BOJ. I'm not particularly convinced that it's going to happen, right? Yen, this was 3 hours ago, yen inches closer to intervention point as BOJ meeting starts. 4 hours ago, rapid FX moves undesirable, looking for full response. BOJ to project inflation will stay around target. This was a couple of days ago. So there is some chatter 3 to 4 hours ago, but nothing yet. maybe something to try for tomorrow with the intervention level. And then tomorrow I'll tell you more about the core PCE price index to be released for the US at 8:30 p.m. Okay, so today not much until the GDP number for the US. Now, looking at the charts. Take that away, and that, because it did not push up. It did not go as high as that 50 retracement. It got to about 38.2, right? Got to about 38.2, tested and rejected to push down. There we go. 61.8 holding very strong. I was trying to figure out, all right, just before our session today, I was trying to figure out why did we see at 2 o'clock, well, just 1 hour ago, that drop from 105.75 down to 105.61. There wasn't any big reasons why. I would say maybe it's because of the yen continuing to push up, dollar losing some. That doesn't tally as well. So it feels like it could just be a technical reason to push down. Again, finding that support along that 61.8 level. Okay, hey Angel Case, how you doing? Good morning. Hey Augusto, good afternoon. Hey Erwin, good morning. Erwin, I have no idea. Everyone, almost every webinar, and everyone's been asking, is there a replay? Where's the recording? I'm asking Tickmill. I know there is a Tickmill YouTube channel, but it doesn't get uploaded there immediately. So I don't know where it goes. Maybe they upload it later. Or if you've registered for it, you could ping them and say, give me a recording. Right? But I'm trying to find out. What was I going to say? Okay, the dollar index needs to stay above 105.60. What I'm seeing now is a bit of a double bottom, right? And it's bouncing back a bit. It was outside. Why it's bouncing back? It was outside of that Bollinger Band as well. That's why it shot out. Now it's retracing back. I am tempted to think that it could break. I'm tempted to think that it could break this 61.8 level and hit lower. All right, we don't need any of that. Well, we don't need that one. So it's stuck in there. It's right at this point where we have either, I don't like to say either this or this, right? It's this way. It's just in that range there. I think that that's more likely to push down. Looking at the news, GDP could be a bit higher. 3.4 to 2.5 is not going to be good news. It's trending down. What I'm actually looking for is now, because of what's happening on the dollar index, pushing lower like that, oops, like that on that trend line. Even if we took that, right? Idea on the dollar index would be today the 25th, thinking that, well, downward push, so it needs to stay below 105.90. Right, it needs to stay below 105.90 for that continuation, but I want to look for it to break 105.60 to see it drop towards 105.30. Okay, break 105.60 to trade down to 105.30-105.10 range. Because this is just in the middle, so it could push all the way down, but it needs to stay below that point. Okay, so stay below 105.90, which is this level here. For it to push down, needs to break 105.60 to trade down towards 105.30, 105.20. Maybe I'll just put in as 105.20 there. All right, there we go. Okay, so looking at some weakness to come, possible weakness to come from the dollar index. Okay, then good morning, Christopher. How are you doing? Now looking at the charts. Okay, I'm quite happy I closed out that one. All right, so that push down, it was a lot later that it started pushing back up. Could have triggered, could have hit a stop loss. Don't think it was a reason to have got in as it broke that level. That's my area. Take that one away. That's my trend line. Don't particularly need this now. I'll keep that. I'll keep that there. I'll keep it there. Okay. So what I'm looking at here on the Kiwi is that expecting that dollar weakness. Now it's pushing back up a little bit, but looking for it to do that. Right? So I'm thinking that it could, in this case, test and bounce back up. I don't see a big reason why it should. Okay, I'm going to give you two scenarios here. What I'm thinking, I'll do a combination where I'm looking at the Kiwi could remain within the range. So I would in fact be looking to sell this down 5935. It needs to break that trend line, right? Go up, test, break the trend line, hit down 5935, stop loss 25, take profit. I don't think it'll go all the way. Maybe down to that 50 level. Let's see, 61.8. Yeah, down to this point there. 5935, 20 pip stop, 40 pip take profit to the downside in case we see continuation of that dollar recovery in dollar strength. Okay, so I'm looking at this 5935, 20 to 40 to the downside. So that's if we see this push up all the way. We could be looking for this to reject and sell down. Why I wouldn't be looking to buy this up? I want to cover my bases. I'll look for dollar strength scenario. I'll look to sell this down. On the dollar weakness scenario, then look for this to retrace and push up. We spoke about this yesterday and it's worked out quite nicely for now. Came up, we're looking for it to come down, test at 23.6 and bounce. I got in at about this morning at about that point. Right, so I closed out at about 20 pips on the Aussie pushing up. Right, so now looking at this, I will maintain this view. Right, if dollar weakens, dollar breaks that 105.60 level, if it breaks 105.60 and pushes down, then I'll be looking for this to push up, break above that 61.8 level to push higher, then I would still maintain 6540, stop loss 20. I could even do 20. Take profit 75 to the upside. 65 will be same. 6540, 20 to 75. So we'll cover our bases between the Aussie and the Kiwi dollar with either direction on the dollar index. Christopher's asking which pair is inversely correlated with pound dollar, and can I help talk a bit about it? Which pair is inversely correlated with pound dollar? Why are you looking for something inversely correlated with pound dollar? I would say maybe the euro pound. There are the matrix that you can look at. Right, you can look at the matrix, but it's just a bit of, why pound dollar in particular. Take that away. So I think that the best, I'm just looking at that now, just searched it up. So we're looking at the pound dollar in terms of inverse correlation. Aussie yen at 61.6. CAD yen at 77.2. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any particular very strong inverse correlation. At Singapore yen at 85, I wouldn't do that. CAD at 89, this seems to be the highest. USCZK at 90, US yen at 93. I don't even think that's true. Yeah. So why, Christopher? Why looking for that inverse correlation? Okay, I don't know. in long and short form, the tables are there. You can check it out, but I don't know in particular, or I'm not focused in particular about the inverse correlation with pound. So Diana says, I see some people talk about euro, but I wouldn't make so complicated. Just watch the expo. Yeah. Euro wouldn't be, I wouldn't say euro is inversely correlated with the pound. Quite often they move in direct correlation, because when the euro strengthens or weakens, it's got quite a big proportion of the dollar index, and then you're going to see it. The move on the euro is going to affect the dollar index, which is then going to lead to the similar movement on the pound. So they're quite highly correlated. Good morning, Stefan. How are you doing? So we've done that. So I'm very happy I closed out at 6520 because it's dropped now to 6513. Dollar is still climbing slightly, so it needs to stay below that trend line, stay below that 38.2, and push down. Okay, then on to US yen. You can scalp it up, right? You can scalp the US yen up. The next round number, when there is no other round numbers to look at or no other resistance to look at, the next round number is at 156. It's at 155.62 right now. The next one's at 156. Not a lot of space. You could trade it up in a scalping. You could scalp it up, but I'll be very cautious. I would say that at this point, I would come back to thinking of a sell order, maybe 155.20. Pop, pop. Well, my lines. Okay. 61.8 is at that resistance turned support. That overall move up, I know I have a lot of lines. 23 will be there. That would make sense. And 38 is there. So I'm just thinking, yeah, below 155.20, stop loss 20 pips, take profit 60. You could even go down to 145 to the downside. As you said, SM Smart Money tool, okay, there's a new one. That was SMC, now it's SMT. As you said, if EU strong, pound weak, and white. No. If EU is strong, so for example, if we see the euro pushing up, quite likely we'll see the pound pushing up as well, because if the euro is gaining strength, that is going to lead to the dollar index weakening, right? And if the dollar index weakens, then we're going to see the pound dollar push up as well. So very typically, the euro and the pound will tend to move in a similar direction. So in terms of the correlation, euro, where is it? Euro dollar and pound is about, yeah, almost 100% correlated at 96.6%. I just clicked on it. I don't. Yeah, it's quite closely correlated. Okay. Thank you for that, Ayakami. Really appreciate that. So US yen, you can scalp it up, but I'll be looking at 155.20. We'll have a BOJ meeting tomorrow. We'll be looking at a sell order 155.20, stop loss 20, take profit 145. Looking for the intervention. Looking for the intervention would be awesome. Okay, so we're looking for that move down. I trade pound, and I got to know that when one pair is going the other way, pound will be going the other way. Get more proof that the trade is going my way. Okay, the thing about correlation, one thing to really remember about correlation is that it's not always the case that, you know, as much, you see, there's no 100% correlation. Oops, there is no 100% correlation. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's the only time it's 100%. It's when it's with its own pair. So there's no 100% correlation. And the thing about trying to so-called match that, oh, this is going down and pound is going up, should lead to pound going up. There are, as much as there's correlation, there are other factors that could cause the correlation to be delayed, right? Maybe there's a pound news. There's a pound news that's affecting the pound dollar and not the other pair. Things like that could cause a delay. The correlation does also have a bit of a delay, and also because it's not 100%. So I wouldn't take it upon that way. I wouldn't analyze it that way where, oh, because there is a 60% inverse correlation, right, I can sell pound whenever pound NOK is going up. That's a bit stronger because the pound's in it, but if you're looking at the euro NOK, it's just not a good correlation to think about, I would say. Okay, similar. Okay, this is a good example here. Pound yen together with the euro yen, there is a 94.2% correlation, but you know, it's because it is against the yen. But hey, if the pound, something happens to the pound but not the euro, or we get good news on the pound and the bad news on the euro, the correlation is going to deviate for a while before coming back, possibly coming back again, right? And you can see that the correlation can stay very close to 100%, but back in October last year, we were down to almost below 50% correlation. So correlations do work, but not 100%, and there are times where it will deviate as well. Okay, so just be super careful with that. Alrighty, US yen done. Pound, dollar pushing up, that did not trigger, take that away. That's done, take that away. 38.2, well and truly broken. We have 61.8 next. So it's pushing up. We have the interim level there. So what I want to see here would be for the pound dollar to continue pushing up, right? If that traces lower, pound dollar to continue pushing up, we're going to look for a reaction along that resistance level. Then you could be looking for it to break above that resistance. $1.2560. Stop loss 30 pips. Take profit. I don't see it going 140 up. I don't see 140. I would say halfway of that, right? Halfway of this move would be about 50, but I would take 61.8 and take that level there. Okay, so I'll be looking at 1.2560. Stop loss 30, take profit 75 to the upside. On the pound dollar, looking to buy at 1.2560. Stop loss 30, take profit 75. 75. There we go. Smart money tool, smart money technique is a concept taught by ICT. It compares correlated assets, and if the correlation gets disrupted, SMT divergence. Okay, I saw that on YouTube, some traders talk. I see. I see. Yep. If the dollar index is strong, might sell the pound. Yes, especially if it comes up to test and reject that resistance. There is that opportunity, so you can also be looking at a sell at about that point. Stop loss would be about 30 as well. I can go a bit higher. About 30 pips on a stop. Take profit can go down to about 90 to the downside. Again, that means that we have to see massive dollar strength back up. Basically, we want to see a reaction at 1.2540 for that break or bounce. Right? Bounce or breakthrough. I would say that we want to see a look for reaction at 1.2540. Then we could buy that up or sell it down. I kind of think of the buy it up scenario because on the euro dollar, I'm thinking of the sell it down scenario. Right, so take that away. That did not happen. That actually worked out quite nicely first. It came down, it bounced back up. I thought it was going to push down. It did not. It went up to that resistance. And if we put in 50, you can see that it's right there. So that's why I'm thinking that maybe we could, don't need that, take those away. Right, we could see what I'm looking for on the euro would be the alternate view where we see that test and reject and turn back down. Then we would see a correction back down. So this will be on the dollar strength scenario where 1.0710 stop loss 20 pips, take profit, you would go down to, let's say it goes back to there, 50 is there. If I catch this resistance, 61.8 is down here. I might even go down to 65 at that point. Just just looking at that move. So I'm looking at what happened here, right, as a test and reject to sell down. So I'm looking for that test and reject to sell down. So I might even be looking at a little bit higher, 1.0715, 20 pip to all the way down to about 85 to the downside. Right, so I'm looking at what happened here. So 1.0715. Okay, put that there. Then we look to sell at 1.0715, stop loss 20, take profit 85 to the downside. Again, covering both sides with the pound and the euro, covering the dollar strength or dollar weakness scenarios, like the Aussie and the Kiwi covering the dollar strength and dollar weakness scenarios. US yen is just by itself. We're just waiting for a possible intervention. Then on to the US Swiss franc, did not go up, so it went up, tested and pushed back down. This push down was because was very recent, so it's held that resistance level, anticipating that push to the downside. We would possibly be looking for it to break lower. Needs to go past that point, which it is at right now. So I might go a little bit safer and go 9120. Right, so if it breaks 9120, then we're looking at 9115, stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the downside. 9115, dollar weakness scenarios again. Sell 0.9115, stop loss 20, take profit 50. 50, there we go. Okay, I see a question there, Diana. I mentioned that I feel tired as trader. What is your approach? Will you trade or stay away? I continue. I mean, I'm tired. I'm not like dead tired. So it's yeah, I'm still functioning. I'm still working and doing all kinds of stuff. I used to operate on a lot less sleep. So yeah, it's just feeling tired, but not not feeling that 100%. But I'm still working, I'm still trading. So I just continue on. I catch up on my sleep over the weekends. There's a lot of news today. No, there isn't a lot of news today. We only have the GDP to be released today. The advanced GDP for the US to be released today. Not a lot of news, I wouldn't say. And I love trading when there's a news. I would try to take the opportunity. GDP not so much, but if there's a lot of news, I'll take the opportunity to scalp it. So I would never stay away because of the news. I would try and preempt the news, trade during the news, or trade after the news. I wouldn't stay away because of news. Okay. Then onto the usdcad. That move worked out nicely, tested the resistance, rejected, pushing down. If you did get into that trade, great, let me know. If you did not get into that trade, it's pushing down right now. I'll maintain this view at 1.3655, 20 pips to 40 pips to the downside, 1.3655, 20 to 40 to the downside. We'll maintain that option, that setup. And then because we have Diana and Lydia on the session, I know you guys like this, Euro Yen pushing up strongly. You can see nothing higher. We've just got to that resistance of 167. It all comes down to what's going to happen on the US yen with the BOJ tomorrow. That euro dollar looks like it's sitting there. If it pushes up, it's going to drag the euro yen up slightly. Looks like that resistance might hold. If you're into a bit of a speculation, yes, yen are mostly at record highs. If you're into a bit of a speculation, then maybe you can look to sell it down 164.43. Stop loss will be quite random. Okay, I wouldn't put it up there. It's going to be quite random. I would go even the previous high, so maybe about 30 pips. Take profit. I'll bring it down to that resistance turned support level. Right? So you could look for that push down, and then maybe by tomorrow there could be a big spike lower. I don't think, I wouldn't do that. I would be more focused on the US yen, but that could be something to look at. I wouldn't go below that point. I think it would have dropped too much by then. So I'll be looking maybe something like that. 166.40, 30 pip stop, 100 pip to the take. Maybe a bit high risk. This would be high risk kind of a setup. How would US news affect the yen pairs? Typically, the US news, big US news, themed US news will lead to the US yen pushing up, right? It will lead, I mean, in a good news scenario, will lead to the US yen pushing up. And then on the cross pairs like the euro yen and pound yen, typically it will lead to a bit of a push down first. Okay, it depends on how much. What's the word? What's the velocity? Like a word, vector, velocity, vector, impact, or the punch, right? If it's a big US news and we see pound dollar dropping a lot, right? Pound dollar dropping a lot, then we're going to see pound yen drop. But if it's big US news, pound dollar sitting there, then we're going to see the pound yen push up because it's going to be dragged up by the US yen. So pound yen, it's going to be, for example, is going to be affected by the performance of the pound dollar and the performance of the US yen. So it's going to be either moving together with the yen first or moving into pound first. Okay, hope I answered your question there. No hard and fast rule, but hope I answered your question there. What I do like or prefer to do would be to look at how the yen behaves, the US yen behavior. Then after that, go and correlate it to the euro yen and pound yen. There were periods where I would sit there, I would have the US yen, euro yen, and pound yen, and then I'll be just scalping all three at the same time. I'll be like hammering out trades across all three, just looking for that delay, right? USD might be pushing up, then pound yen might be turning down. So I go, okay, it has to turn back up because the US yen is pulling up very strongly. I'll look for the turn, then I'll get in and scalp it up. So I do tend to kind of mix the pairs up that way. Next level, that's the most fun part, trying to do multi-currency trading. Okay, so pound yen, I hope I answered your question there, Diana. Not a straightforward answer, but I hope I answered your question there. Pound yen pushing up as well. It is, we have a resistance at 195 somehow. Okay, 195 was back in August 2015 that we've seen that point. So now we're close to that level again, or I was trying to get to that level. It's got to 194.50 and it's retracing. Pushing up, I wouldn't do anything. I would say look for it to go up. I mean, it's retracing now, but look for it to test and reject and sell down. It's right in the middle, so I wouldn't be too happy to do anything at that point. Sorry, I just want to check. Just want to check whether we're going to see something happen now, but I think it's pulling down. See, that's starting to push up a little bit, right? Dollar index pushing up a little bit, but yet we're seeing the yen, the US yen dragging down a little bit, and so you could translate it to dollar gaining strength, dragging the euro dollar down, hence dragging the yen, the euro yen down, and then hence dragging the US yen down slightly. Okay, I'm just watching that. Just want to see whether it's going to trigger something. So pound yen retracing slightly, could be because of the pound dollar also retracing slightly, but we're looking for that to test and reject the resistance for the sell down. Maybe, hopefully tomorrow, 194.82. Stop loss about 40 pips. Take profit could go down to 140. What's going to happen is that we could end up sitting around waiting for a lot and nothing happens, or it all triggers and it moves and we don't catch anything. So that's why I'm looking at levels here. Onto the Swiss yen, it did push up. I think we spoke about this last week. At this point now, again, same thing. I'll look for it to test and reject to sell down from the resistance. All right. And why? It's also because of what happened here and here. So want to see it push up, test that resistance, then I would sell down 170.55, stop loss 30, take profit 115, 120 to the downside, similar to what happened there. So in the scheme of things, if you look at the euro yen, the stop loss is a bit in the middle, not most ideal. The pound yen stop loss will be quite wide, right? 45, 50 pips, and a bit more to travel up before it rejects. The Swiss yen, a bit more to travel up before it rejects, but stop loss will be quite tight at about 30 pips. Okay, Diana said yes, I did watch during the news and see the yen pairs behavior. As you said, yen dragging the other pairs up. Yep. Then on to gold. All right, we did this yesterday during the session. So I'll take all that red lines away because we were drawing the red lines in. And yesterday we said go to trade down to 2300 round number support level again. And what did it do? This was, take all that away. Okay, all right. We were talking about scalping on gold yesterday, so we got all the levels in there. But we were at that point. We were at that point yesterday, It did not get to 2300 straight away. It actually came down slightly, went up, tested 2334, 2335, and then retraced back down to 2300. Now looking like it's pushing back up. Someone in our Discord group was saying that the interesting thing was that gold has also broken, I think it was on H4, broken through, was it on the daily? No. Broken through, that was broken through the cloud, right? Broken out of the cloud, but now it's gone straight back in. So at this point, I would say if the dollar does push down, inverse correlation with the dollar. If dollar does push down, we're going to see gold push up 38.2, 50, 61.8. I kind of want 61.8 there. So I'm thinking that if gold does push up, then above 2335, we could see it get to 2360. All right, so gold, if it trades beyond 2335, could climb to 2360, which is the 61.8 retracement level. Alrighty, all eyes on the dollar. Is it going to break 105.60 to the downside? And then tomorrow, all eyes on the yen. Are we going to see an intervention, or might not be intervention, might be just comments from the BOJ that lead to a massive, that could lead to a massive correction on the US yen. Might be brief, it might just go down and then back up again. So don't expect a change immediately, but we're looking to catch a possible move. With all that said, please remember, if you have any questions, ask me, put it in the Discord channel. Share your trade ideas in the Discord channel as well. Looking forward to seeing some of your trade setups. In the meantime, please trade well, trade safe. I'll see you all tomorrow on the live stream again. Take care now. Bye-bye.